I thought I was dead. I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I nearly felt like being dead this morning, but then I discovered these.
Oh,
look at these, eh?
What are those?
These.
Hey, here's the best part. He can't hear me right now. He doesn't know what I'm saying.
These are these are entirely what you need if you're suffering from, when the screen's too bright, when you're working with the screen, it's too bright. These are what you need.
Little onion cutters.
Onion cutters on your eyes. Don't do that for too long. You will actually lose your eyeballs. Cool. We've got everything going on this morning, folks. Sorry we were a couple of minutes late. The Wi-Fi just decided to give up the ghost. It's all right. I've got a hamster downstairs in a wheel, whirring away really quickly. That's generating some 4G, so we should be able to carry on, as it were. Welcome to A Better Way to Do Friday. And so, with no further ado, I'm now going to play a little bit of this.
Oh, not again.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Paul.
Welcome, one and all, to A Better Way to Do Friday. Ready to take it away? Here we go. Oh, there we go. And the bass drops. And we're all awake on a Friday. There we go. Right, let's get on with some guests this morning. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming along and making it a better way to do Friday with me and Addison this morning. I'm going to drop off this paraphernalia around us in the background, put that on instead, and I'm going to bring in some guests. Hello, everybody. Welcome to A Better Way to Do Friday. Look, there's so many of us on the screen.
Hello.
Hi.
Woo! So let's just do a little round the table. Let's see who we've got here. We've got Addison.
Hi.
Addy. Right. Yeah, that was enthusiastic.
I'm here.
You got
yes.
You. We've got me, Graham Cave. We've got Rachel Philpotts. Hi, Rachel. Say hi.
Hi.
What do you do, Rachel?
I'm a nutritionist specialising in stress and mental health.
And she likes avocados. That's probably the main thing. We have Julie with us this morning as well. Julie, hi.
Hi, everyone.
Good. What do you do, Julie?
I'm an independent travel agent.
I'm wearing my travel outfit this morning, especially for you. Okay. Where should I be going wearing this?
Blackpool.
The charity
Blackpool.
shop.
Brilliant. And we have Louisa. Hi, Louisa.
Hello.
And Louisa, tell people what you do as well.
I'm a mentor and strategist.
There we go. And now none of that matters because we're here to talk about social media and all things social media this morning. So, Addy, let's kick off. What have we been doing social media-wise this week?
Nothing. We've done absolutely nothing this week. That's a lie. We've done loads.
We have done that. Go on.
We've been filming. We did that. That was fun.
Filming? Have we been filming?
We've got a ton of stuff. Okay, so we were filming yesterday. I managed to convince you to go in a river for no reason. Look,
I'm coming, all right? He wants me to go in a water down here. He's linking out. Oh, it's filthy. I can't go down in that. It's filthy. I can't.
What do you mean you can't do it? I'll do it. Watch, look, I'm going in.
Are you actually going?
The water. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, but you're not really going in the water. You want me to really go? He actually made me really go in the dirty water. I got really muddy, and it was great. And it was sharp in there. It was wet. It was cold. It was horrible.
We might have to cut that shot. Just we might not use it in the end.
Greetings from Australia. Thank you, Suzanne. Love an avocado. There you go, Paul.
Come on, Paul.
Nice one, Paul.
Paul, would you like an avocado fact? I bet you would. Yes, Paul would love an avocado fact. So can we have an avocado fact quickly?
You can freeze avocados, just peel them, take the stone out, chop them up, and you can stick them in the freezer.
Nice.
There you go.
For what purpose?
Then you can use them in smoothies so that they don't go off because they go brown quite quick, don't they, avocado? So we don't want that. So they don't go to waste.
I'm just going to say, if you love avocados, you need to watch Wow Ergonomics, which is coming on directly after this at 12 o'clock. All right.
Wow. You need to watch right to the very end.
You have to watch right to the very end of it.
Having just got out of the editing process for Wow, you need to watch till the very, very end of the video if you really like avocados.
Does it involve an injury?
It's only 10 minutes, but it does involve an avocado. Let's just have a little clip and see what's coming up at 12. Does anyone play solitaire in your office, Stephen?
There's only me in my office and I don't play it, so I suppose the answer's no, I guess, isn't it?
Okay, let's talk about this from an ergonomic point of view. Look, that monitor's right behind.
Over here, it's out of my video feed.
They couldn't even afford to get a DSE assessor in for these guys.
But the reality when you actually go to see an office is that's what you get.
Someone please send me a flex desk.
Now, there you go. You want to see the whole of that. What's that? Sorry, Julie?
I've had t-shirts on all week.
Yeah. I've got 20 of these shirts. I got a bulk deal down Superdry. Thanks, Superdry, by the way. Paul didn't know that about the avocado, by the way. There you go. And here we go. Shirley says you can buy frozen avocado packs for smoothies, but they can be a bit bitter. How do we avoid bitter avocados?
Yeah, I think I would just freeze my own, but
Right.
at that right time. So yeah.
Put sugar on them, and then they're not bitter. Then they
Don't do
taste
that.
Well, what makes an avocado bitter? Is it just that it doesn't want to be cut open? I mean,
I think it just goes past that. They're you have to get them at that sweet spot, don't you? They're either kind of too hard or they're too soft and brown. So it's just a bit overripe when it's bitter. So
Now, Louisa, you this morning. Now, I know you're actually more of a social media expert than you let on. In fact, you've been very humble about it all week on social media. And you said, what are we talking about this morning? Are we talking about MySpace? You mentioned Friends Reunited. Let's go through some of the social media platforms from the past. Actually, what's the first social media platform anyone can remember here?
Facebook.
MySpace, definitely.
Friends Reunited, MySpace.
Hey, here's one that hasn't been mentioned yet that died. Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Google Plus, a good old platform.
Yeah. So I had a MySpace. MySpace really started out with lots of bands having a MySpace, didn't they? Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh, that's cool. You know, you go on there, find out a little bit about the band. It was a little bit like Smash Hits, but on your computer. And then
they had that one friend. What was the guy called that was like everyone's friend?
Oh yeah. Oh,
goodness knows. So Friends Reunited for Paul, yeah, and Shirley said that was great. Should we try and bring back Friends Reunited?
No,
no,
let's not. Let's absolutely not do that.
Now, I said during the week on social media, I did a post about, do you really know people on social media? Or do you think some people get a little bit carried away with that? Because, you know, it's at the end of the day, it is social media. It's not real. It's not a real thing, is it? So, I mean, no. Everybody's fake on social media, aren't they?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, but what do we all think about that? Do you think it's too easy to get kind of carried away into thinking that everything you read on social media is real, or actually everything you read from a particular person is real on social media?
Sorry, Rachel just found out it was Tom. That was everyone's friend on MySpace.
Oh, Tom. Hi, Tom. Cheers to you. Tom, if you're watching now.
I'm always tuning in.
Yeah, Tom's always watching, right? That's the premise. He's there everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there someone like that on any of the platforms now? Is there someone that's everybody's friend on LinkedIn?
That's what you're trying to be, isn't it?
You, Graham. You.
Yeah.
It's probably me. I'm not actually real. I'm just Tom.
You're Tom. I knew it.
I am
You're
Tom.
You're
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm
I'm not even his son. I'm a hired actor.
Facebook can create like people think everyone's life is perfect and they have an amazing life because they do this, they do that, and I'm here and I'm there, when really that's not real. And I think that can get a few people down, depressed wise. It can look like everyone else's life is better than theirs. And that's a sad part of Facebook. Because no one shares sad things, do they? No one goes on and goes, I've had a bloody awful day, blah, blah, blah. It's all, I've been in the zoo today, and so.
Well, don't we see that on LinkedIn as well?
Yeah. Well, no,
I think you see the negatives as well on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think there is quite a lot of down. Like it's like people trying to grab sympathy on LinkedIn a lot, I think, and that
read my post from today then.
Well, here's the thing, and I commented on that. I said the trouble is, it's a bit like, when you're young and your mum says don't cry wolf, right? Because one day it might happen. But the trouble is there are so many people that are genuine in terms of their posts, and it might take them a long time to actually get the courage to actually put a post out there about something that they're really struggling with. And yet other people go, do you know what? That's really clever. If I put something out and make it look like I've got something wrong with me, or, there's an issue, etc., then I'll get sympathy. And actually look at the leverage that I get on that. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because how do you know what's real and what's not?
What I find interesting is I've met a few people now from the virtual world in real life, and people actually say to me, wow, you're the same in real life as you are online. I'm like, yeah, of course. I couldn't be anyone else. I'm just as sarcastic in real life as I am online.
That's really interesting as well, isn't it? Richard makes a good comment. People are always a different size when you meet them in person. You're right, Richard. I'm 6'5".
And I am 4'2". You just can't tell.
Or maybe it's the other way around. Do you ever get that as well? Has anyone else here met someone that they first connected to online, and it was quite surprising that they were either exactly the same as they were online, or they were completely different?
Yeah, I think I recently saw some people from a networking group that you and I both go to, Graham, and everyone was like skinnier.
Skinnier?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Rachel, wait till you meet me, because I'll be fatter. So you won't be disappointed at all. There we are. Oh, I don't know. No, and also in real life, I'm not this funny. It's true.
I don't believe it.
He will account for it. So
you should believe it.
Yes. What's everybody here? What's your emphasis, or what do you try and achieve on social media? Julie, what are you trying to achieve on social media?
Just create more clients. I need and to give people information.
Right. Help people with information. This is a tricky one, isn't it, for lots of businesses? How much value do you give back? Because it's a value kind of driven market now. How much value do you drive back through social media? How much do you give? I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit in the network group yesterday. Before you actually have to stop and go, well, hang on a minute. You have to pay for the rest of that, because otherwise I'm giving away everything. Louisa, Rachel, what's your opinions on that?
On the value thing, or what I'm trying to achieve?
Yeah, both.
Well, I think the value thing is a nice blend to have in terms of kind of giving value, like, I don't know, 60 to 70% of the time, and then the rest of the time talking about your service, maybe. I don't know. That's just what I try to aim for. But my aim on social media is about visibility, because my business is very much a kind of face-to-face, one-to-one service. So I just need to kind of get people to know who I am, because I work online, so they're not going to know you unless they see you, are they? So
no, not at all. What about you, Louisa?
For me, I think with social media, it's it is, when it comes to value, there is that real fine line, but I think people only see snippets. So I could tell you, I remember having a conversation with a photographer quite a few years ago, and he was like, but why should I share tips about how to take photos? I was like, well, just because you tell someone how to do it, it doesn't mean to say they're going to do it or they want to do it themselves. You're just purely showing that you know what you do and how to do it properly. So I think it's knowing what your strategy is and how that feeds into it. And as for what do I get out of social media and why do I use it? It's a mixture of brand building and relationship building. And that's worked really well for me with my business.
Now, Julie, I did a bit of market research on one of my posts for you earlier this week. I don't know whether you saw that.
I didn't, no.
I asked, would anybody on LinkedIn like to take part in a program on LinkedIn like this about holidays? Would they like to come on the travel show and talk about their holidays? About 30% of people said they would. So that's actually quite good. Yes. Yeah. Now, Julie is the person to what we'd like to do, you see, is create that as a show. And then Julie can show us some really good exotic locations that we can all go on and give us some glimpses into it. Because and someone said, Graham, are you trying to be the new Judith Chalmers? And absolutely I am. So I think that should really happen. And that's people who would actually like to come on and talk about their holiday experiences. Yeah. Loads of other people would actually like to watch that as content. You know, what would other people here love to see as content on LinkedIn, for example, that's not there at the moment? Addy, what would you like to see as content on LinkedIn?
I would love to see somebody I'd just like to see an evolution of maybe like product reviews or something like that on LinkedIn. Maybe some more like fourth wall breaking content on LinkedIn. I just think something a bit more meta at some point would be cool. Not meta as in the company, because they've now called themselves that, but meta as in like self-referential. It would just be more funny and humorous. And that's how platforms evolve, is when people make content that's critical of the platform, content that's come before it, because they'd like to see new stuff.
Yeah, and also Meta's revenue went down yesterday, so no one wants to be doing that. Rachel, what content would you love to see?
I think on LinkedIn, if it could be like a bit lighter, a bit like this, I suppose, because LinkedIn is always seen as quite dry and professional, and that kind of face that you get of, that person that you see 9 to 5. And I think it would be better to see the person out of the, out of their role, and who the person is behind the LinkedIn facade.
Yeah, absolutely. Louisa?
I don't know. I quite like live, as I'm live now. So I think anything where it gives people an opportunity to almost like have this kind of community spirit, and talk about different topics and get to know the person behind the screen, because lots of people don't like to create video content. So this is a good alternative for those a little bit wary of creating their own stuff.
Now, I did, before we go to Julie, and I'll come to Julie in a second, I did a poll this morning, and I was asking about audio rooms and LinkedIn Live to my audience this morning. And how many people do you think haven't even heard of LinkedIn Live or audio rooms? Any guesses?
A lot, yeah, I reckon a lot.
Yeah.
I've not heard of audio room, Graham.
Have you not? Okay.
I joined in one earlier in the week.
So the stats so far, out of 92 votes, 51% haven't heard of either. 51% of people haven't heard of either. And yet, come on, how much material has been produced on LinkedIn, live material like this? And I mean, audio rooms is newer, so I would have expected a higher percentage to say, I haven't heard of audio rooms. But people haven't heard of the fact that there's live stuff going on LinkedIn. It's pretty weird, isn't it? I mean, how do you navigate a platform? This is perhaps a question for Addy in a minute, but how do you go about navigating a platform blind to the fact that there are these different things happening on the platform, or these different mechanisms happening on the platform? It's pretty weird. Julie, what kind of content would you love to see on LinkedIn?
I don't really know. LinkedIn, for me, when I go on, it just seems really complicated. There's so, I mean, I go on in a post, but there's so much on the screen and so much. It's like, yeah, it's not simple. I think it needs to be streamlined and made simpler.
Now, Addie's going to completely come in here because Addie's fairly new to LinkedIn. All right.
Grumble.
Because Addie is 21. He's recently 21. So if you all like to just wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Addie.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Recently 21. And in general, 21-year-olds aren't on LinkedIn. So they're trying to be encouraged over to LinkedIn at the moment. Addie, what's the matter with LinkedIn?
Everything. It's all bad. No, I mean it's a clunky platform, that's for sure. That's what it feels like coming over to LinkedIn from other socials. It's just about we did the maths and we sat down and worked it out the other day, didn't we, Graham? It's about 5 or 6 years behind all the other social platforms in a big way in terms of features that we've got. So it's basically trying to take my mindset back to what I was doing on social media 5 or 6 years ago. And it's really interesting to see trends from 5 or 6 years ago repeated on LinkedIn because they're only just arriving over here now. But they were. So I think maybe your best strategy, if you've just started LinkedIn and you'd like to grow, is go and Google what was going on social media 5 or 6 years ago. Bring over those trends onto LinkedIn. You'll probably be all right. You'll probably do okay.
But in terms of the actual interface, there are some real problems.
Oh yeah,
some real problems that we've talked about on this show over the last few weeks. For a start, every other platform has this availability. Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, LinkedIn is just to try and find what you really want is a rabbit hole.
I explained this to Graham the other day. This is an interesting point. I don't think we've talked about this on the show at any point, but loads of people I think don't fully get it. But you know, when you have your post and you're looking how well your post is done on LinkedIn, and it says views and like how many people have viewed it, and that number is massive compared to how many people have engaged with your post. Okay, and to get a view, right? So if I've got my timeline here on my phone and I'm doing this, scrolling down, everything I scroll past has been viewed. That counts as a view on your thing, which means that that's not a proper view. No one's engaged with that content at all. They've just scrolled past it. You don't see many baseball caps on LinkedIn. Hey, it's going to become a trend. It's a new trend. Trust me.
We're starting that trend. Next week I'll have my baseball cap on. Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't the people over at LinkedIn, over at Microsoft that manage LinkedIn, wouldn't they be really confused if everyone just started wearing baseball caps all of a sudden?
Just randomly.
We don't tell them where it came from. We just start doing it. They'd be really confused.
Have you seen LinkedIn UK on TikTok?
No.
Go check them out. You'll be surprised at how different the vibe is of LinkedIn UK on TikTok versus what LinkedIn is like.
I have seen their YouTube, which I think is similar as well. Yes, this is true.
Okay, so for people that didn't see that, to be fair to people who have been working for the past 5 or 6 years, have 1 year or so, huge changes in aspects of work. So slowing down is not a bad thing. You have to limit how much new you can take on at a time, or you won't get on with your actual job. Yeah, that's true. Once upon a time, Facebook was the enemy of all owners of businesses, wasn't it? You know, they're on Facebook again, and now it's LinkedIn, isn't it? They're like, oh, he spent 3 hours on LinkedIn yesterday, didn't do any work.
Hey, LinkedIn would love it if that was the case. If that was really what was happening, everyone on LinkedIn would be winning. If loads of young people came over and spent 3 hours a day on the platform, I think it'd be a great platform.
But you're right in terms of navigating, in terms of going through LinkedIn to find what you really want. It's really, really
what is it?
Tricky.
My biggest bugbear is the I want to see someone's posts, or the order that the things are when you open someone's profile. It's just in the wrong order and doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like so I open the profile and I want to go to their posts, and their posts are presented by their top post or their pin post, and then a see more thing, and that's their post, like that's their whole posting thing. Well, and then if I scroll below that, there's their whole CV printed out without a see more thing, just the whole thing. But what, I don't want to see someone's whole CV. I want to see their post more than their CV. I'd rather it be the other way around. I'd rather have all their posts, or at least a chunk of them, there with a see more tab, and then underneath that have an option to access their CV. I don't need their whole CV printed out in front of me, and then me struggling on the page to find where to see more of their posts and actually see what they're like online.
Yeah. What we were actually saying last week is that the thing is that LinkedIn, I don't know how long have people been on LinkedIn here?
God.
Louisa, I expect you've been on LinkedIn a fair while.
Yeah. I've been pretty active since for about 10, 11 years.
Right. Okay. Rachel?
Yeah, similar or longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Julie? Is it
Just a few years.
Just a few years. Okay. So years ago, when some of us came to LinkedIn, it was basically, I call it was basically a digital Rolodex. Basically, if you went to LinkedIn, you looked for people within business that you maybe want to do business with, you kind of connected with them, you sent them a message, but the content was all kind of businessy, and that you made your contacts that way, and then you kind of followed it offline and sort of tried to get them with a fax or whatever it was that you were really doing.
10 years ago, I was posting music on LinkedIn. Because of the music company I worked at.
Wow.
There you go. I bet that went down a storm.
It stood out, and I built the company page up as well because it was different from all the other content that was being seen in people's feeds.
Wow. And these days you post anything about music on LinkedIn, it gets squashed like that. Anyway, we won't talk about that too much. But the thing is, it has completely changed from that. But the trouble is, there's the legacy of that, even to the point where if you look at people's profiles, some people's profiles actually tell you about what it is they actually do. And some people's profiles read like a CV. Some people are on LinkedIn because they are looking for work. Other people are on LinkedIn because they're trying to sell. It would be really great if you could actually segregate all of that off and go, oh, do you know what? If you're looking for work, it's over here. Here's the marketplace. It's over there, right? We don't actually want to see all of you people, other than, in the marketplace. And actually, if you could actually start to segregate off and make it easier to find content that was on a given subject as well. And I believe it's coming, because we know that there is some different kinds of searches coming, or different kind of, not searches, Addy corrected me on that last week, different kind of feeds that you'll be able to select coming through in the future, whereby you might be able to select a feed, not based on people, but based on content. Right? So imagine that. You go, oh yeah, I want fun stuff on a Friday. Graham will be at the top of your feed. I want boring Excel spreadsheet stuff. There you are. There'll be a whole load of accountants. So, it depends. It depends. But the point is that we need other ways of navigating it. Did everybody know that carousels is expanding, or sort of, so that you can do video.
Yeah.
Video
feature they've had on Instagram for the last 2 years. They're putting it on LinkedIn now. It's going to be great. It's going to revolutionize. So if you want to see what's going to do well on carousels, everyone that's anticipating this release, go back to Instagram 2 years ago when they released carousel video on Instagram. See what did well then. Probably do the same trends over here.
Been on for about 12 years, started really getting active during lockdown.
I think loads of people got active during lockdown.
Yeah. Did everybody really start to find their feet on LinkedIn during lockdown? Is that sort of time when everybody started using LinkedIn a different way, maybe in a more social way than before? What's that?
I started to hate it during lockdown.
Really?
LinkedIn was my favorite platform for years, and I loved it, and I did all sorts on it, and I helped people with it. And then lockdown hit, and I just started to dislike it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Wow. I found LinkedIn to be quite a great place during lockdown. Mainly because I built a business around it, but also because the thing is that, and here's a really good thing about LinkedIn, there's a world of opportunity on this platform because it is so far behind. Then there is an opportunity to create some content on here which is different and start pushing boundaries and start trying to push the way people use things. I think one of the problems is when people think about content, it's like, how many posts do you see in a day where it actually says, you know, here's some ideas for content, and all it is here are subjects that you can post on, you know, text and a picture, and that's not ideas for content.
Well, yes. Look, I've got to pop off soon, but I'll end on this final thing from me. I think this is a really interesting point you're making about content here. And I think that one of the reasons that loads of people are writing different kinds of content, and there's like this kind of discord between what lots of people think of as LinkedIn content, is because they're people that are on the platforms at different points, right? So you've got some people that are writing article type things because they came from when the platform was writing articles was really big on the platform. So they're writing really long form posts. And then you've got other people that are starting to emerge now that do a lot of video stuff because they're coming from video-based platforms like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And then you've got other people who are were here from the very start with the Rolodex thing and are making posts that are very business orientated. And it's like a crazy discord between what lots of people think content should look like. And the only unfortunate thing about that is that you have some people that feel the need to try and police other people's content to look like what they want it to look like, which is not amazing. You know, and that's not, you know, we can have all of the content on the platform, but like Graham said, we should have a sort of feed that will allow us to see whatever type of content we really love.
Yeah, it is amazing. You've got to go. You've got to go. You've got to go and
film premiere.
Oh,
film that I worked on is premiering today. I've got to go to a fancy red carpet thing. So yeah, look out. There'll probably be pictures of that on LinkedIn at some point.
He's going to go and get his tuxedo on now.
I'm going in this. I'm going in my baseball cap and stuff. It's going to be, you know, I'm going to break boundaries.
It's the new way of the world. See you later, Addy. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.